Welcome back to the Daily Thunder podcast. I am Ryan Woods. I'm here with Daily Thunder beat writer Brandon Rahbar. Brandon, how are you, man?
I'm good. This is a win that I think that everyone, even Team Tank or Team Compete, can all agree on after Damian Lillard dropped those shoes commemorating his goodbye wave in the 2019 playoffs when they beat the Thunder. We can all agree this was a good win. We'll accept this one, and then we'll go split our separate ways again, go to Team Tank or Team Compete. But I'm happy we can all get along tonight.
I'm so glad you started with Shoegate because I'll speak for me. I could not care less about the whole shoe drop from Damian Lillard, but I saw quite a few tweets from you that would suggest that you care quite a bit. So I was going to clear the floor and let you just go on Damian Lillard's shoes.
I mean, I just think it's funny. I mean, I tweeted this too a couple days or yesterday, I guess it was. I can't wait for Russ to drop those 2016 Mavs colorways and for KD to drop those 2014 Grizz shoes.
Right.
I mean, it's a first round series. I mean, I get it was a great shot. I'll give him credit. Dame's a great player, and I actually think he's a really cool guy outside of basketball. He's actually one of my favorite non-Thunder players. But it's such a ridiculous concept to commemorate a first-round series win over a 6 seed. I mean, this is ridiculous. And the players that were on that team have already all moved on. It's a completely different team now, and it's 2 years after the fact. I mean, there's so much fodder there to be made fun of. I can't help myself. It's so ridiculous.
Well, I look forward to Lou Dort's drop of Portland colorway. And maybe instead of putting his own stat line, he'll just put Lillard's 8 for 22, 3 of 12 inside the lining.
Dude, 3 of 13. You got to count that last one that he checked up too. I think it was 3 of 13.
Maybe they didn't count it.
Really?
I'm looking at 3 of 12. But
because I only say that because I was like, I was so enjoying every single miss from him. So I was counting it in my head. So maybe one of those was a 2 that I thought was a 3.
The last one, the last shot that he hit in the game was a 2.
That's what it was. Yeah. See, I was counting in my head. I trust my head apparently more than Eli. So that's my fault.
So Lillard, he had 39 last night against the Knicks, coming back on the second night of a back-to-back. The Blazers, I mean, they were missing 3 starters, and it just seemed like they were a bit gassed, even from the start. The Thunder had such great energy in the first quarter. I believe they hit 6 threes in the first quarter.
Yeah, they came out just on fire. They scored 34 points in the first quarter. Then they scored 35 in the second quarter. We all knew going in, and let's be honest, the Trailblazers are down 2. Yeah, the Thunder were missing George Hill and Al Horford, but the Blazers are missing McCollum, Nurkic, Rodney Hood, Robert Covington. So, I mean, they were ailing as well. But we all knew that if a team was going to start Enes Kanter and Carmelo Anthony and Damian Lillard, then the Thunder should be able to score on them, and score they did at will.
It was a throttling in that first half. They got out to a lead of 17, and I thought one thing that was such a contributor for the Thunder tonight was just 8 turnovers for a team that's really struggled this year with turning the ball over. I thought they did a really, really good job taking care of it against I would say a gambling Blazers defense. They're very as far as their wing defenders go, they take a lot of chances, and sometimes that does lead to turnovers when teams aren't ready for it. So I thought the Thunder did a young Thunder squad, and you can talk more about that. A young starting lineup did a really good job of taking care of it.
Yeah, I did the research on this because I was curious when we found out that Roby, of course, was going to be started in place of Horford, and then Teo Maledon was going to start in place of George Hill. I did the research, and from my research, and agree, and again, this is my research, so don't take it to the bank. Don't even necessarily trust it. But from what I came up with, it was the third youngest starting lineup of all time, and the other two lost their games. So I think that this was the youngest starting lineup in NBA history to win a game. And I actually texted one of the Thunder staff members, and he said he was going to have Eli double check, and make sure and let me know. So I'm waiting to hear back on that. But the Thunder might have made history tonight
That's
with
incredible.
the age of the starting lineup. I really wish that they would have started Poku instead of Roby.
Hmm.
And then it would have been by far the youngest
Yeah.
starting lineup of all time.
Let's go to Roby then. 27 minutes, 4 of 11, a couple bunnies that were missed. 1 of 2 from 3-point line, 7 of 7 from the free throw line. This guy is like a really competent shooter.
He can shoot. I mean, you see it from the 3-point line and the free throw line, and he's got some post moves. I don't know if he's really a center. He's playing at center. I think he's really a power forward. He's listed at 6'8". Now, has he grown since his college height? Maybe, because he does. He looks taller than 6'8" to me, but he's definitely not a 7-footer like a traditional center. But he's
Right.
getting by. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. He's scoring. He scored in double digits, I believe, in every single game but one that he started. He's putting up good numbers. He only had 3 rebounds tonight, but he's going up against Enes Kanter, who's one of the best rebounders in the game. Of course, going up against Enes Kanter helps explain why he was able to get 16 points
Fair.
as well, and go to the free throw line so many times. But Isaiah Roby, this is really his rookie year. He played 10 garbage time minutes, I should say. Garbage minutes just sounds so much worse. Last season, his rookie season. So this is really his rookie season. And for it being his first season, he's been impressive. He may be a keeper. We'll see.
I really like him. I can't remember if it was you that I was on with, but I asked, could he play? Does it have to be the center position that he plays? Could he play the 4? Was that you that I was talking about that with?
I don't remember. We've talked about so many things
I mean,
over
we've been
the years,
we've been
Ryan.
at
I
this a
think,
long time. It feels like
yeah,
going back to last season.
yeah.
But yeah, it just seems like he's so much more versatile than just a typical 5, especially a typical 5 that we've seen in Oklahoma City. What do you think about his prospects of possibly playing the 4 next to another big?
Yeah, I think that would be ideal, especially since he can space the floor. I mean, I don't think teams are really respecting a shot too much because most of the threes that he's shooting are open. But if he starts knocking them down, or keeps knocking them down, I should say, he'll start getting that respect, and then it opens up the lane more. And of course, that's a big asset at the 5, and it's
Yeah.
almost necessary at this point at the 4. I do wonder if playing the 4 takes away some of the advantage that the Thunder have by having a shooting 5 out there, and then he just kind of becomes another guy. But at the same time, he's got the quickness and agility and length, where I do think that ideally his position would be the 4. But he's a guy that I could see sticking around in a bench role, and for a
Totally.
playoff team. I think that if he continues developing, he's a guy that can get minutes on a real playoff team coming off the bench, whether it be at the 4 or 5.
He plays with such poise for such a young guy, along with Shai. They really embody that starting unit right now. I love the kind of what Muscala has given to the bench unit. Roby is kind of that 5 that plays away from the rim, but can also pump fake and go by bigger and slower guys. I really, really like the way he's playing. Darius Baisley, 28 minutes, 6 of 11, 3 of 6 from 3. He hit some huge threes in the fourth quarter, especially if your team get wins. He had some huge threes in that fourth quarter. 19 points. It was 19.7 boards. It was really good to see Baisley play uh, one of these games again.
I was happy for Darius, first of all,
Yeah.
because you can tell in the post game media calls, he kind of beats himself up when he has a bad game. And you can tell he just kind of takes it personally, and he really, really wants to be a good player. You can see he's really locked in on it. So I was happy for him. But this was his best game in quite a while. He had
Yeah.
kind of gone through a mini slump. And then the last few games, he'd kind of been creeping out of it, been having some pretty decent games. But tonight he was great. And his best game in probably a month.
Yeah.
So it was just really, really good to see, because I still believe in Darius Baisley. I think there's going to be a lot of up and downs. I think he's still trying to figure out his role on this team. He's locking in so much on defense now. I think that's affecting some of his offense. And I think he kind of forces things at times because he wants to do too much. But I still believe in the talent.
No question. And he's starting, like you're saying, he's starting to get some of that confidence back with the shot, which opens up the rest of the game for him. I love his rebounding. He's still doing a great job of rebounding on the defensive end and getting out and pushing and finding guys in transition. I love that part of his game. That's the part of Baisley that I'm most excited about, to be honest, is grabbing rebounds and pushing it up for transition opportunities. What did you see from Teo? He got his first NBA start tonight, played 21 minutes. He only scored 6 points, but I thought he just looked really comfortable out there for being his first start and being such a young player.
Yeah, I mean, Teo Maladone is the only Thunder player in history to be undefeated as a starter. I mean, I think that speaks for itself. No, I thought he looked solid. I think that when you play next to Shai, I'm starting to get comfortable saying this. When you play next to Shai and Dort as a guard, I think you're in a good position. Just because Shai, we haven't even talked about Shai yet. He scored 24 points.
Yeah, we're saving Shai. I've got a lot to say.
Okay. So I won't go too in depth on what he did then. But I think that Shai is getting to the point, and Lou Dort's defense and his offensive abilities have reached the point to where if you slide another guard in with those two guys, you're going to look pretty good. Dort's going to cover a lot of things on defense. Shai's going to open up things on offense. He's going to find the right shots for everybody. And I think Maladone looked better as a starter than he did, leading the bench unit. It makes sense. He had 6 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds. He was 2 of 5 from 3. I thought Maladone looked really solid tonight.
Yeah, I did too. I think defensively he's still finding where he's supposed to be, where the rotations are. That's gonna come over the course of the season. But and he's obviously a scrapper on that end. He's not a turnstile down there, which is nice to see. But the offensive end just feels very second nature to him, especially playing with the starters. It looks very, very normal and relaxed to him, which is very exciting to see. Let's go ahead and let's just talk about Shai. 32 minutes, 8 of 12 from the floor, 3 of 4 from 3. Struggled at the free throw line, 5 of 10. Missed 5 free throws, which made the game very interesting at the very end. 3 of 4 from 3, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, only 3 turnovers, 24 points. I mean, he's a star. Like, he's that level. Like, this team isn't going to finish with the record that would lead him into that conversation. Like, there are people that are going to realize maybe next year, oh my gosh, this guy's so good. But he's that good right now. He is a star.
Yeah, I feel comfortable saying it now. I actually tweeted out. I feel so weird, like quoting myself. Hey, I said this earlier. Why don't you just say it?
Why don't you give your ad as well?
Yeah, no, I feel like I'm plagiarizing myself if I don't. Like, I think my English teachers in middle school and high school just like banged it into my head so much.
Cite your sources.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like I got to do it even if I'm plagiarizing myself. So stupid. But I said, at what point do we stop calling Shai a rising star and just call him a star? And I think I've concluded that the time is now. I think he's proven it. I mean, he was on the cusp last year you could see it. You could see the talent. Everybody was talking about, everybody knew that he was going to jump into this role of stardom at some point. And look what he's done lately. I mean, 24 points, 23 points, 30 points, skip a game, 33 points. I mean, those have been his last 5 games, and he's doing it so efficiently. He's shooting so efficiently. He's 51.7 from the floor this season. He's 38.7 from 3 this season. 5.4 rebounds, 6.4 assists, 21.9 points per game on the season. These are star numbers at 22 years old, and he's leading this team. And honestly, he should have way more assists than he does. He should probably be averaging double-digit assists if some dudes could hit some shots when he sets them up so perfectly. Drives me nuts.
You're exactly right. We've been hammering that all year. Like, his assist numbers do not tell the full story of what a creator he's become. And to the point that defenses are blitzing that pick and roll with him. And I don't mean this to sound as such a criticism to Russ. The blitz of the pick and roll for Russ usually meant a split of it. He's just going to get through it.
Yep.
Or it's a pass where he's jumping up in the air, and now it's a bit of a gamble whether the pass is completed or not. When Shai gets blitzed on the pick and roll, I'm never wondering what he's going to do. He just seems to always figure it out. And the fact that teams are doing that, playing him in that way, says so much about, first of all, the lack of elite talent around him, but the fact that he is such a good offensive player. He's such a good scorer in his own right. But the fact that he's getting into the lane and creating so many wide open corner threes is, to me, such a great benchmark for him this year. He really is creating so many of the types of shots that you want to build an efficient offense.
Yeah. He really is. He's setting up such great, and his teammates are mentioning it more and more in the post-game media calls, how Shai is finding guys, how he's always making the perfect play, how Shai's such a willing passer, how Shai will find you if you're open. I mean, these are just the things that all his teammates are saying now. And they're right. He really is. If there's an open guy, he's going to find it. His drive and kick game has become so good, and it's so fun to watch. It's going to be even more fun to watch when his teammates start hitting their shots.
It really will. And he gets in the lane, and he goes up like he's going to shoot, and he just waits till the very last second to decide, am I going to put the shot up? But the longer he hangs, the more defense he draws, and the more open that guy is. So he hangs in the air a while before he makes that pass, and these guys are just wide open. It's really exciting to imagine when there's some incredible talent around this guy. Like, it's going to be really, really fun. I was very curious to see this year, is Shai going to develop into an elite playmaker, ball handler? And at 6'6", this guy is doing everything you would hope for your lead guard.
And there's been this question of, can Shai be the number one guy? I think that it's very apparent that he can lead your team, but there's also been this question, like, how much talent do you need around Shai to contend again? Like, how good is he? Like, can he be the number one guy on a contender? Everybody's said no. I've said no. Can he be the number two guy on a contender? I think most people have said no, but he could be the third best guy on a contender. And the number two guy is kind of where the debate has been. Can he or can he not be the second best player on a contender? And I think that's been kind of split 50-50. And I'm to the point now where I'm pretty confident, especially knowing that he'll develop even more and knowing what his work ethic and IQ is and how he wants to be a great. I feel confident in saying that, yes, Shai can be your number two best player on a contender when he hits his prime. Now, a lot of that will depend on who the number one best player is.
Yeah.
If the Thunder get a guy like, I'm just going to throw out Cade Cunningham, and he becomes like a superstar. If you get a guy who's like a top 10 player and Shai, I think in Shai's prime, that's a contender. I think that's, you talk about ceiling and being an all-star and all those things. I think that I'm comfortable saying that's how Shai could be looked at.
Totally. I agree with you. And what I've been most excited about is, aside from his driving and dishing, is the 3-pointer looks even better week to week. It just looks,
Yes.
it continues to look better as the season is going along, right? And the distance, I mean, he's taking these
Yeah.
from like way out, and
Yeah.
that's so, I mean, that is such a weapon. It's almost a necessity for your lead guard to be able to hit a shot like that off the dribble, for defenses to respect the pick and roll, for defenses to guard you further away, just opens so much more space. He has really developed that three and that real distance three.
Yeah, he has. He doesn't bust it out that often, but he's hitting such a high percentage when he does. Hardly ever does he shoot it, from 5 feet or more from behind the line. But when he does, he's hitting it at a high clip, because I notice it every time. He
Yeah.
tends to only take high percentage smart shots. He's not a guy that likes to take 25 shots a game. He just doesn't do it because he doesn't take bad shots.
Yeah.
And that's why he's so efficient. But it's so fun to see that when he does step out, he can hit that kind of shot. He hit a 31-footer tonight with a hand in his face,
Yeah.
and he's shooting 38.7% from three on the season. I mean, that's really, really good. And to see, that was kind of one of the questions about his game. Can he become a great 3-point shooter? And some people worried about his release being a little bit slow. He's got the step back now that he
Yep.
feels really confident in. And he's shooting at a high volume. He's shooting about 6 per game, and he's hitting at a 38.7 clip. I mean, what can't he do at this point? I mean,
Right.
offensively, especially, like when you look at his offense, he is becoming really special on the offensive side at 22 years old.
And I'll be honest, I would like to see him take more shots.
Yep.
12 is kind of where he lives, but
Yep.
I do want to see him take more shots. But early in the game, he finished the first quarter with 3 points. He ended the game with 24. Like he picks his spots and he can just go in bursts. And he had 11 in the third. A huge push from him. Even one that, I don't know what happened. It looked like it got knocked out of his hands. He immediately was looking for a foul. It went in. The assertiveness will come, I think, the more he gets comfortable with the handle, the more he gets comfortable with, I think the quicker that 3-point release can get, the better for him. The more he'll take it because he doesn't need as much space. But yeah, that I want to see him a little more aggressive on the offensive end as a scorer. But like early in that game, he's setting the table for all these guys. He's getting these guys involved. He's getting Roby a bunch of touches. He's getting Baisley a bunch of looks. And then you can tell when that screen comes up, he doesn't always take it, but he doesn't panic either. That when that screener goes back into the lane, he then takes his guy one-on-one, and it's like, he's going to get by him. It's just a matter of what he decides to do after that. He's a really, really fun, exciting offensive player.
I'm going to do a deep dive on it over the next few days to kind of work it out and see if my theory is true. But, we're curious. I think we're all curious. Is he going to become an all-star? I think he is. And if so, when and how close is he to it? Okay, so since James Harden and Russell Westbrook are both in the East now, Chris Paul isn't having the same kind of year that he had before. You look at the guards in the West. Above him for sure, you have Damian Lillard, Steph Curry, Luka Doncic, if he's considered a guard, which I guess he is, which is crazy to me. Donovan Mitchell, Devin Booker, and that's it. I mean, you look at the rest of the list, so he would come in at 6. And as a matter of fact, there were 6 guards on the West side last year. There were 5, I believe, from the East and 6 from the West. And it could be anywhere as low. It could be 5 or 6. They're kind of forward and center heavy in the West now. So I'm not saying that he's going to make it this year, especially
You're saying
with the Thunder's.
6. You're saying 6th in scoring.
He's 6. Well, I'm saying just overall best. I'm looking at the scoring list as a guide, But just using it as an overall who's the best when you get, below him, the only other arguments I could see you making would be Jamal Murray, but Shai's having a much better season than Jamal Murray. You could argue for De'Aaron Fox, but Shai's having a better season than De'Aaron Fox. I think John Morant will be in the conversation, but he's missed most of the season so far. So I think those are the guys that you're looking. I mean, he's better than DeMar DeRozan now. He's better, I think, than D'Angelo Russell with no question. John Wall. I mean, he's better than all these guys. So
where do you see him in comparison to McCollum?
As an overall player, I think he's better. I do. McCollum is having his best year so far. He's unfortunately hurt and going to miss the rest of the season. But McCollum was having a super year.
Yeah.
He was averaging 26.7 points. He was shooting a ridiculous 44.1 from 3 on 11 attempts per game, which is nuts.
He's so sick.
Yeah, he is. And he was averaging 5 assists and 3.9 rebounds. I mean, based on now, he's not a good defender. Shai's not a great defender either. I think Shai's a little bit better defender than CJ is. But I think this season has been an outlier. CJ is great. But I think as an overall player, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like Shai is a better overall player. Taking away, using this small sample size of 13 games this season for CJ and kind of balancing that with the rest of his career.
Yeah. I mean, I think I would still say CJ's a bit further along. And I think I would say CJ's just better at right now. He's such an elite scorer. But yeah, I mean, it's very interesting. I would have assumed that there would be 8 or 9 guys you could easily list before Shai, but that is pretty interesting because he's going to start knocking on that door here pretty soon.
Right, and that's why he's not going to make the All-Star game this year unless something crazy happens. I don't see it happen. Now, maybe as an injury replacement, especially with COVID and everything like that, if they actually take injury replacements because an All-Star game happens.
As of right now, I don't even think there's a game scheduled.
Right. Yes,
but
yeah, exactly. But they've talked about it. Like the news came out that they're discussing the possibility of it.
And I think they're still going to vote, even if there's no game.
They will, because they gotta have representation. They gotta figure out who the all-stars of this year would have been. When it comes to honors and awards,
right, exactly.
And some of their contracts are tied into that stuff too.
Exactly. Yeah, it's going to be really fun to see if Shai. I mean, if he can really get into that conversation. He's playing so well. So I really hope that despite Oklahoma City not necessarily being in that playoff picture right now, I hope people start to realize how fantastic he's played with such a young team. The other guy we got to highlight tonight is Mike Muscala.
Oh my gosh.
An absolute flamethrower tonight. He had 5 threes in the first half or 6.
Yeah. I know that he had 16 points at halftime, so it was
5 in the first half, 6 for the game, 23 points. He was a game high plus 10, game high plus 10 in the plus minus. He was so good tonight. Really fun to watch.
Yeah, he was outstanding. I mean, he just couldn't miss. I mean,
he got 10 threes off. Like, when's the last time Mike Muscala got 10 threes off in a game?
Yeah, he was 1 point away from his career high of 24. He hit 6 threes, which was his career high. He was just, he has games like this. I watch him and I look at his contract and he's making the minimum. And I'm like, how many playoff teams would love this dude coming off their bench, a 7-footer who can go out and hit 5 threes in one half? I mean, he can be a game changer. And there's been some injuries to playoff teams when it comes to centers. I would be shocked if the Thunder don't have some offers for Mike Muscala at the trade deadline.
I keep hearing people say that they don't see much of a market for him, and I don't know if they're watching the same guy as I am. He's a deadly 3-point shooter that could easily play off of playoff teams' benches, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I don't know how you could say otherwise. I mean, any team would take a 7-footer coming off the bench who can shoot the 3. And it's not like he's great defensively, but he's not a turnstile.
Not at all.
He's okay. You can play him, especially on the bench.
Totally. And he gives you such a threat that like you saw tonight. He has the ability to go, you know, 2 of 3, 3 of 4 in a quarter. If you get him enough looks, and if you're playing with a guard that can get in the lane, he's a pick and pop like nightmare for most teams.
Yeah, he absolutely is. The only question is there are so few teams now that have the ability to trade first round picks,
Yep.
especially the contenders. There's a few playoff teams that still have first round draft picks to trade away. And I'm not saying that Muscola is going to get a first round draft pick. Maybe if it's heavily protected, or if it's a team that feels like it's going to finish, you know, 27, 28, 29, or 30. Maybe one of those teams gives up a first for Mike Muscala if they're needing a center because they've lost somebody. But maybe he gets you a couple of seconds. Maybe he gets you a pick swap. I don't know. Presti is creative, and I think he's an asset that can help teams. So I would not be surprised to see Muscala get something of value.
Yeah.
But if he sticks around, he's a lot of fun to watch, and he is a really cool, nice dude off the court. So I'm cool with him sticking around as well.
For sure. Speaking of Presti doing fun things, I just wanted to read Lou Dort makes $1.5 million this year. Next year he'll make 1.7. The next year after that 1.9. Like it's the best deal in the league.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I
mean, is he the best perimeter defender you've seen this year?
I think he is. It's either him or Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
I think it's those two are the only ones really in the conversation. I mean, I know Kawhi's still up there, but from what I've seen, and I watch a lot of NBA basketball, to me, it's been Dort and Drew Holiday so far, and I would put Dort above him, honestly. I mean, it's close. You can make an argument for either of those guys, and I wouldn't, argue too much.
Yeah.
But I would say Lou.
He is just a freak. And the fact that he has become like quite a threat from the 3-point line. I think he's taking 5 a game, over 5 a game, like 5.5 per game. That he really is meeting the exact criteria for 3-and-D, but not only that, he's like the best. He's the best of the best when it comes to perimeter defense. And he's shooting over 40% from 3. I don't know if he's still above that number, but he has just been unbelievable this year.
After tonight, he fell down to 39.8. So
trade him, get him out of here.
Yeah, but I know. He had been sitting at like 43.7 for a long time, like around that range.
Yeah.
But over the last 2 games, last game was the first time he didn't hit a 3 in a game. He went 0 for 6. Then he only went 1 for 4 tonight. But to me, that's even more incredible. He's 1 for 10 in the last 2 games, so basically Damian Lillard numbers. And
nice. Jesus.
And he's still at 39.8% on the season on 5.5 attempts from a dude who's the best perimeter defender in the league. Unreal.
Yeah. I've been watching this is so random, but I've been watching the Heat the last few nights, and Duncan Robinson has just struggled so much from the 3-point line, and it happens. These guys like that struggle from the 3-point line. So Lou is perfectly entitled to a couple off nights. All right, last thing I want to do before we go is hit. You've been watching obviously a ton of basketball this year. I want to hear your 5 best teams that you've seen this year.
The 5 best teams. I mean, right off the top of that, you got to say the Lakers and the Clippers. Unfortunately, the 2 Los Angeles teams have probably been the 2 best teams I've seen all season. And I mean, the Clippers have won 7 in a row. The Lakers have won 3 in a row. They're both 8-2 in their past 10. And shockingly, the Jazz are up there too. They've won 8 in a row.
Yep.
The Jazz.
They're blitzing teams. Like they're just crushing.
I don't get it. Like, but I think this is going to be a regular season thing with the Jazz, though. I think that they're going to win a lot of regular season games. And I like Mitchell and I like Gobert. I'm not like Shaq. I think that they're really talented dudes, but I don't think that we're going to see a lot of playoff success for him. But regular season, then it's kind of tough after that. The 76ers I'd put up there, they've missed some games from Embiid and Simmons. But when they're fully healthy, they've looked like one of the best teams in the league to me when fully healthy.
Yeah, they've been really good.
Yeah, they have been. And then the last one, I don't know. I mean, the Bucks have been really good. It's just, they're 10-6, and to me, that's disappointing given the roster.
For sure.
So as good as they've been, it's been kind of disappointing to me. I mean, the Celtics are up there as well, but they're another team that I feel like is just a little bit disappointing. Maybe because I think highly of them. The Bucks are weird though, because their net differential is a positive like 9 point something.
Yeah, 9.1, second best in the league.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, their record should be much better than it is. They're a much better than 10-6 team, and that'll end up playing out. So yeah, I guess I'll go Lakers, Clippers, 76ers, Jazz, and I'll still give it to the Bucks over the Celtics.
The Jazz, it feels like this is what they expected to happen last year after getting Conley and Bogdanovich. It feels like all of those things that they were lining up last year have now really started to fire away, because they are so good right now.
Yeah, they really are. They're just surprising. I mean, I just didn't expect it because they haven't really done anything. They haven't really added anything from that disappointing season. Mike Conley, I did not expect this. I don't think anybody expected it.
I don't think Mike he had Conley any more high level play in him. I didn't think.
Yeah, I just thought he looked washed last season. So you'd think another year later he would be even more so. But he's kind of having his CP3 season now, his renaissance.
Yeah.
And good for him. He's a great dude. And if he continues playing like this, they will be tough to beat.
And speaking of CP3, I've loved watching the Suns. The Suns are so much fun to watch.
Yeah, they are. And we thought that they would be, because we all fell in love again with Chris Paul. And then Booker's a likable dude. Ayton, everybody knew how much talent he had. They're a fun group to watch. CP3 with a young core apparently is just like peanut butter and jelly. I mean, it's just like a perfect pairing. Like he loves taking that mentorship role, and the young guys embrace him and look up to him. I'm happy for him after Blake Griffin and James Harden and the clashes he had with those guys over the year, that he's finally in a place the last couple of years where he's happy.
To bring this back a little bit to the Thunder, Cam Payne has been phenomenal off the bench for Phoenix. Like, how is I thought he was overseas up until like early parts of the season. I was like, really?
Yeah, he was overseas for a time, but he came back and he looked really good for them in the bubble last year. But I think everybody kind of
in the bubble.
There are a lot of things in the bubble that we just kind of assume we're like, no, that's just bubble. That won't continue.
Yeah, they are phenomenal. They score with the best of them, and they score so easily. Cam Johnson has turned. I mean, that pick got clowned on draft night, and he's been really good. Cam Payne's been good off the bench. Obviously, Booker and CP3. Ayton's awesome. I really like Phoenix, and another team is Denver. I really like Denver. Denver just beat Phoenix twice in a row, by the way, on the road. They're really good.
Yeah, they're kind of coming around. That Denver had a rough start, but everybody knew how talented they were, and that would end up, playing out in the record. But I can't get over Cam Payne. He told us he had no ceiling. We just didn't believe him. And who would have thought that years later, because it felt like the Thunder robbed the Bulls when they traded Cam Payne for Taj Gibson and Doug McDermott and a couple of draft picks, that the Thunder just absolutely robbed them. I guess it was 1 second-round pick, and it was at the time still. But here we are years later, and Cameron Payne, of those three players, Gibson, McDermott, and Payne, he's currently playing better than all those guys.
And Cam Payne became, obviously, like you're saying, McDermott, and McDermott ended up becoming part of Carmelo, which became Schroeder, which became a really fun team last year.
Yeah, it all worked out for the Thunder. Like Cam Payne, when you do press these like trails of trades, it's like Dwight Schrute with the thumbtack. trading up to get the best
Yes.
thing at the office
Yeah.
garage sale.
I was not expecting the office garage sale reference. So glad
that's
that happened.
that's how Sam Presti is with trades, and you can trace it back even the campaign trade. You look back like, oh, it seemed like a robbery, and they only got Taj and McDermott. But when you look at what that ended up becoming, he's going to end up being part of the reason why they get Cade Cunningham or Evan Mobley, probably.
Yeah. Now I'm just thinking about that squeaky gavel that they gave Michael, and when he was expecting an actual gavel.
Yes.
He's like, "Why does it squeak?" All right, Oklahoma City, they are back at it. Speaking of the Suns, they travel to Phoenix on Wednesday, and we will be back after that one as well. Brandon, thanks a lot for joining me, man.
Absolutely, my man. Have a good night, Ryan.
Yes, sir. Thunder fans, thank you. Talk to you soon.